The secret of freedom lies in educating people, whereas the secret of tyranny is in keeping them ignorant. Terror is only justice, prompt, severe, and inflexible. It is then an emanation of virtue. It is less a distinct principle than a natural consequence of the general principle of democracy applied to the most pressing wants of the country. To punish the oppressors of humanity is clemency, to forgive them is cruelty. The king must die so that the country can live. Any law which violates the inalienable rights of man is essentially unjust and tyrannical. It is not a law at all. We must smother the internal and external enemies of the Republic or perish with it. Now, in this situation, the first maxim of your policy ought to be to lead the people by reason and the people's enemies by terror. Softness to traitors will destroy us all. Smuggle out the truth, pass it through all the obstacles that its enemies fabricate. Multiply, spread by all means possible her message so that she may triumph. Through zeal and civic action, counterbalance the influence of money and the machinations lavished on the propagation of deception. That, in my opinion, is the most useful activity and the most sacred duty of pure patriotism. Omelets are not made without breaking eggs. The most extravagant idea that can be born in the head of a political thinker is to believe that it suffices for people to enter, weapons in hand, among a foreign people and expect to have its laws and constitution embraced. No one loves armed missionaries. The first lesson of nature and prudence is to repulse them as enemies. Citizens, did you want a revolution without revolution? When a banker jumps out of a window, jump after him. That's where the money is. Peoples do not judge in the same way as courts of law. They do not hand down sentences. They throw thunderbolts. They do not condemn kings. They drop them back into the void. And this justice is worth just as much as that of the courts. Terror is nothing more than justice, prompt, secure, and inflexible. It has been said that terror is the principle of despotic government. Does your government therefore resemble despotism? Yes, as the sword that gleams in the hands of the heroes of liberty resembles that with which the henchmen of tyranny are armed. The government of the revolution is liberty's despotism against tyranny. Any institution which does not suppose the people good and the magistrate corruptible is evil. The aim of constitutional government is to preserve the republic. That of revolutionary government is to lay its foundation. By sealing our work with our blood, we may see at least the bright dawn of universal happiness. Formerly, when a king died at Versailles, the reign of his successor was immediately announced by the cry, "The king is dead, long live the king," in order to make it understood that despotism is immortal. Now an entire people, moved by a sublime instinct, cried, "Long live the Republic," to teach the universe that tyranny died with the tyrant. One can never create freedom by an invading force. The revolution is the war of liberty against its enemies. The Constitution is the rule of liberty against its enemies. The Constitution is the rule of liberty when victorious and peaceable. Is it to be thought unreasonable that the people, in atonement for wrongs of a century, demand the vengeance of a single day? Food that is necessary for man's existence is as sacred as life itself. Everything that is indispensable for its preservation is the common property of society as a whole. It is only the surplus that is private property and can be safely left to individual commercial enterprise. It is with regret that I pronounce the fatal truth. Louis ought to perish rather than 100,000 virtuous citizens. Louis must die that the country may live.